Hi Miss, my name is Christian Pigakuma
And I'm Raymar Gargar.
and we're here to discuss about the Presidential Decree number 857 as amended. First is providing for the reorganization of port administration and operation functions in the Philippines, revising Presidential Decree number 505 dated July 11, 1974, creating the Philippine Ports Authority by substitution and for other purposes. So first is the Article 1, which is the title, and second is the Declaration of Policies. It states here that in Section 2, Declaration of Policies and Objectives, it is hereby declared the policy of the state implement and aggregated in the program of planning, developing, financing, and operation of ports of districts for the entire country in accordance with the following objectives. So Declaration of Policies, it states that they declare some policies so that it could be accordance for the country on the declaration policy. So the first part is to coordinate, streamline, improve, and optimize the planning, development, financing, construction, maintenance, and operation of ports to facilitate ports, physical plants, and equipment in connection with the operation of port. Second, to ensure the smooth flow of waterborne commerce passing through the country's ports where public and private in the conduct of international domestic trade. Third is to promote regional development through the differential industries and commercial activities throughout the different regions. Fourth is to foster inter-island seaborne commerce and foreign trade. Fifth is to reorganize port administration beyond its specific and traditional functions of harbor development, the cargo handling operations to broader functions total port district development, including the encouragement of full efficient utilization in the port's hinterland and tributary areas. And the fifth is to ensure that all income and revenues occurring of dues, rates, and charges for trade and facilities and services provided by the authority are properly collected and accounted of authority. And authority are properly collected and accounted for the authority. That income and services include the operating, maintenance, costs, and administration, and overhead of the district, and to ensure the reasonable return of the assets employed should be realized. So in the declaration of the policies, it states here that they make a rule so that whenever there are trades and in exchange imports and exports, we are in a smooth and accordance to improve the development of our country. So in Article 3, we have the definitions of the purpose of the degree of the laws, regulation, rules, and promulgated thereunder the terms were used. So we have here are the definitions. Transit shed means a building or shed which is situated or near aquatic pier, is temporarily short-term storage of goods instant or to be shipped discharged from a vessel. So the transit shed is where we store the goods or the discharge goods in the vessel. Second is the wharf, means continuous structure built parallel along the margin of the sea alongside riverbanks, canals, where vessels may lie alongside to receive the discharge cargo, embark or disembark passenger, or lie at rest. So wharf, so for me kay murag mao ni siya ang kung asa mo dunggo ang inyong cargo ba, like sa terminal. So katong kilid nga part sa inyong terminal kay mo to siyang wharf. So third is the transportation facilities. It includes rails, rail cars, highway wheeled vehicles, bridges, tunnels, cargo vessels, ferryboats. So kani siya ang transportation facility, mura ni siya og kanang ginagamit para matransport ang goods or even persons nga musakay ani para makaadto sila sa one place to another. So third is the lighter, flat bottom boat, barge used in loading and unloading cargo from a vessel. Kani siya kay mura ni siya og kanang kita man ang barge ara ibutang ang katong mga katong mga container para i-transport from one place to another. So third is the vessel, includes ship, boat, or description vessel or a boat. Very very common vessel kay mo to siyang ship, boat nga butangan sa container or either katong mga tao nga musakay para maabot sa one place to another. Goods. So kaning goods, it's either animals, carcasses, baggage, and movable property of any kind. So mo ni siya like katong ginabutang sa container or katong mga butang nga ginabaligya kay mo to siya ang tawag og goods. Dues includes harbor fees, tonnage, wharf dues, berthing charges, and port dues, and other fees imposed in virtue of existing law of or the decree. So mo ni siya mga bayron nun nimo like nakai-transport mo ni siya ang dues. Rates means the rates of charge including or toll, rent, existing law, improves degree of facility used to services rendered. So rate panalitan nakay magi ka og expressway, so naman dyan siya toll fee, so na din siya rate like kung ang imong sakyanan kay kung mas gamay ang yang rate kung dakoy mo sakyanan like mga trucks nga magdaog container para i-move from one place to another, syempre mas dakoy mong bayro nun.
So next is the Article 4. Establishment, Constitution, Power and Duties. So Section 4, Creation of Philippine Port Authority. So there is hereby established a body corporate to be known as the Philippine Port Authority, or called the Authority, which shall be attached to the Department of Transportation and Communication. So, for policy and program coordination, pursuant Executive Order Number 710 dated 27 July 1981, and Malacanang Administrative Order Number 15 dated 15 February and February 11, 1987. So the political office of the authority shall located at Metropolitan Manila, but it may establish port management until and management units and other offices elsewhere in the Philippines as may become necessary for the proper conduction of its business. So Section 5, Port District. The authority may form time to time. So Section 5, Port District. The authority may form time to time, submit to the President through the National Economic and Development Authority applicants for the declaration of specific areas of as port district. Such applicants shall be accompanied by a survey plan indicating the geographical location of the area of areas delegated declared as the port district with their respective boundaries. So ang kuan diri sa this port district area kay dapat imo siyang magkuan og authority para mangayo kag authority sa port district para ma-cleared or kanang largo ra daw inyong kuan kang para na sila survey nga survey plan indicating the sa location kung sakto ba or ang inyong pagadto.
So next is the corporate powers and duties. The corporate duties of authority shall be to formulate coordination and National Economic and Development Authority, a comprehensive and practicable port development plan for the state and program and its implementation renew the same annually in coordination with the national agencies. So the corporate powers and duties they will provide whether it's their own by contract, otherwise within the port district, and approaches therefore include but limited to berthing, towing, mooring, moving, slipping, docking any vessels, loading or discharging any vessels, sorting, weighting, measuring, warehousing, and otherwise handling goods. So we have the police authority. So police authority, they are authorized the police within the ports, administered by all the necessary carry out its power and function and attain purposes and objectives without prejudice to and other law enforcement bodies within the area, such as police authority should include the following. So ang police authority they shall provide security to the cargoes, port equipment, structure, facilities, personnel, and documents. However, in an entry of port, physical security to import the export cargo shall be exercised jointly by the Bureau of Customs. So, kaning police authority kay bari sila may magtabang nga ang mga nakasulod sa margin sa Pilipinas, like sa atong country, they shall ensure that kung kisa itong mga ni-import o export kay safe ra nga musulod sa atong country o walay harm nga ihatag. And they are to maintain peace and order inside the port in coordination with local police authorities. So, with the local police authorities, they will ensure that naara sa peace o order ang atuang port para walay dagan hasol.
So, Section 7, Board of Directors. The corporate power of authority shall vested in the Board of Directors. So, the directors listed under subsections shall be ex officio members of the board directors. Other personnel shall be appointed by a president of the Philippines representing the private sector who by reason of his knowledge or experience is, in the opinion of president, fit and proper person to the director of the board. So, provided that in the absence of director appointed in subsections. So, director concerned shall designate the officer next in rank of him in his department or office that act on his behalf of director.
So next is the Article 5, which is the organization and staff. So Section 8, it states that it is the management and staff. So management and staff. The presidential shall, upon recommendation of the board, appoint the general manager and assistant general manager. All the other officials and employees of the authority shall be selected and appointed in the basis of merit, fitness-based and a comprehensive and progressive merit system to be established by the authority immediately. Provided, however, that all professionals and technical positions shall be considered policy determining, primarily confidential and highly technical in nature. The recruitment, transfer, promotion, and dismissal of the personnel of the authority, including temporary workers, shall be governed by merit system. So in the management and staff, it shall be appointed by the president. And the professional technical position shall be considered as a confidential and nang dili siya pagawa sa inyuha kung unsa ang mga status ana nila. So next is the Section 9.
So Section 9, General Power and Duties of the General Management and Assistant General Managers. So General Power and Duties of the General Manager. The General Manager shall be responsible to the board and shall have the following general powers, functions, and duties: to implement, enforce, and apply the policies, programs, guidelines, procedures, decisions, rules, and regulations prescribes, issued, or adopted by the authority. So, to manage the day-to-day effects of the authority and ensure the operational efficiency of the ports under the jurisdiction and ownership of the authority. So, to approve expenditures and payment within the budget's provision, and general to do any all actions of things for the proper operation of the authority or any of the ports under the jurisdictions, control, or ownership of the authority. So, to submit an annual budget to the Board of current income and expenditures and statement capital of its adopting not later than 2 months before the commencement of ensuing fiscal year. To undertake research, studies, inventions, and other activities and projects, and to submit comprehensive reports of the appropriate commendation to the board of its information and approval. So, to perform such other duties as the board may assign from time to time.
So in Article 5, Section 9A, National Port Advisory Council, it states that there is a hereby created a National Port Advisory Council to be composed of the General Manager of the Philippines Port Authority as a chairman, and a representative each from the Department of Labor and Employment, the Bureau of Customs, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Imports and Export Association, the local shipment companies, foreign shipping arrests, and the stevedoring companies, consumers group, shippers councils, and such other occupations of the authority may deem expedient of members which shall act as the advisory body of to assist the authority in the formulation of the policies. An entirely section introduced the Executive Order number 513 amended by the Malacanang Administrative Order on the February 11, 1987. So in Article 6, it has 3, the capital, finance, and the accounts. So first is the capital. Section 10, capital. Their capital in the authority hereby increased from the 3 billion pesos to 5 billion pesos amended by Executive 5 number 513. In the capital, it states here that the initial paid of the capital shall consist of the value assets, including the port facilities, quays, wharves, and equipment, and such other properties movable and immovable may be contributed by the government or transferred by the government agencies of value date, such as contribution transfer after deducting into the account of loans and other liabilities of the authority at the time of the takeover of the assets of the properties. So every movement there is a paid they shall be paid in the capital. So in section 11 there is the creation of reserves. The balance of any revenue or income of the authority remain at the end of the year shall be applied to the creation of general reserve or such a reserve the authority may be appropriate.
So next is section 12, investment of funds. The authority may from time to time invest of its fund not immediately required to be expended in meeting its obligation or in the discharge of the function of the authority in such government securities approved by the board. So next guys, section 13, borrowing powers. So the authority may after consultation with the Central Bank and the Department of Finance and with the approval of the President of the Philippines, raise funds either from local or internal sources by may loans, credits, or securities, and borrowing instruments including the power to create ledges, mortgage, and valorant lines, or encumbrance on any of its assets or properties. So next is section 14, annual budgets. The board shall vary year costs to be prepared and shall adopt annual estimate of income and expenditures and estimates of the capital and expenditures of the authority of the ensuing year. So and next guys, section 15, annual accounts. The board shall cause proper accounts and other records of the authority in relation thereto to keep an annual statement of the account shall be rendered in respect to each year. The authority shall maintain such accounts and other records until commercial system of accounting.
So next is the section 16, which is the auditor. In consonance with the existence of law and regulation, the Commission of Authorities shall be appointed to audit the accounts of the authority in the fulfillment of international contractual commitments of the authority, and the board may engage services to any person of the firm duty authorized by the law for the audit of the accounts to audit accounts of the authority. So very understandable na siya. So they need auditor to audit the accounts of the authority. So next is, if we have auditor, we must have also the auditor's report, which is the section 17. The auditor shall, as soon as practicable but not later than 3 months after the accounts have been submitted for the audit, send annual report to the board. The auditor may also submit such periodical and special reports to the boards as may to him appear necessary. So if the auditor kuno is kanang human na siya o kanang audit sa katuyahang mga ipang audit sa authority, dapat siya mo submit sa iyang gipang audit og report dito sa board. So next is section 18, annual reports. The board shall submit to the President of the Philippines together with the auditor's report on the relevant account and annual report generally dealing with the activities and operation of the authority during the preceding year and containing such as information received relating to the proceeding and policies of the authority. So ang annual report ug ang auditor's report, they shall submit it to the President so that the President knows kung unsa ang mga operation na activities nga nahitabo sa preceding years. Mora to.
So next is Article 7, Duties and Rates. Dues. Section 19, Dues. The President of the Philippines may, upon recommendation of the authority, increase or decrease such dues collectible by authority to protect the interests of the government and to provide satisfactory return on the authority's assets, and may adjust the schedule of such dues so as to reflect the cost of providing the service. So, dues kay mo ni siya ang increase or decrease para masatisfied ang authority sa iyang kuan sa authority to protect sa interests of the government. And so next is section 20, rates and charges. So authority may impose, fix, prescribe, increase or decrease such rates, charges or fees for the use of port premises, work, applicants or equipment belonging to the authority and port facilities provided, and for service rendered by the authority or by the private organization with the port district. So rates and charges kay mo ni siya ang mga charges sa mga nagamit sa workers or applicants that nag-use sa port facilities nga gipang provide nila.
So next is the section 21, remission of dues, rates and charges. So no amount due in respect of dues, rates and charges prescribed the authority under the degree shall be waived and reduced except the state has arranged for the foreign governments in respect of the vessels belonging to foreign government, and such vessels are not normally engaged in the conveyance of cargo and passengers. So second, for the vessels seeking shelter, implement weather and entering the port, medical help and maritime necessity. So dili daw kuno ta mokuha og dues, rates or exchange if the vessel is seeking for shelter or concealment, like for example nay bagyo niya dili kakaya ang ilahang ship nga mo transport, so musik mo dyan na sila help na to, like mo pastay sa sila og kadyot sa inyong wharf. So in here it states that dili daw siya kuhaan og dues and rates or exchange kay kuhaan ra siya, inignana siya sa designated place nga iyahang atuan. So next is the section 22 remedies for non-payments. If the master, owner, or agent of any vessel refuses or neglects to pay on demand of any duties, rates, and charges may under be decree part. Therefore, in authority may, in the addition of the remedy provided by law, it states here that if dili da kuno ka mo bayad sa kanang duties, rates, and charges, kay ang authority pwede kanila itakol apparel or furniture belonging to the vessel detained the same until the amount or amounts of due have been paid. So pwede kanila i-hold, pwede kanila i-detain until nga mabayadan nimo ang dues or ang amount sa dues nga imong bayron nun kay imong matiwas og bayad para dili kanila i-hold. So next is the section 23 when rates payable and lien. Rates or charges in respect goods should be landed become payable immediately on landing such goods. So if molando ka goods, syempre mo bayad ka. Next is rate and charges in respect of goods to be shipped or payable before the goods are loaded. So before i-load ang goods sa shipment, dapat po mabayad na ka. Rates or exchange in respect of goods to be removed in the premises of the authority are payable and demand. So if imo i-remove ang goods sa premises of authority, mubayad po guno ka. Ana diri. Section 24 recovery of lien. Without prejudice to the authority or rights of the Bureau of Customs and disposition of the property in custom custody as provided for the Tariff and Customs Code as amended, if any goods custody which have been placed in the premises of the authority are not removed there within the prescribed period and legal permit of their withdrawal and release of the customs custody, the authority to load in case of the export has been issued the Bureau of Customs with the prior occurrence of the Bureau of Customs be disposed such as goods and manner is seemed to fit the order to recover the lien, provided proceeds the sale shall be applied in the following manner. First, in payment of duties and tax to the government. So, first kuno kay mobayad ka sa imong duties and tax dito sa government. Second, in payment of expenses of the sale. So if na ni kuan ka sa customs kay mobayad pud kuno ka sa expenses kuno sa imong na sale. Third, in payment of the rates, charges, and fees due to authority in respect of goods. Mobayad ka sa rates o charges sa imong goods. Fourth, a payment of freight, leisure average wage, importation of exports, payment domestic freight. So if mo import o export ka, mobayad pud ka sa imong domestic freight. Imong bayaran ang cartage nga mukuan siya sa authority. And finally, in rendering the demand of surplus, if any of the person legally entitled, provided the case with no demand is made within the period of 1 year and date of risk called, the surplus of any shall become part of general funds of the authority, whereupon all rights same by the purchaser shall be extinguished. So if maabot kuno kag 1 year kuno na dili maka-paid sa imuhang di makakuan sa imong goods, kay mahimo na siyang surplus in which ang imong goods kay mo siyang surplus. So next is the section 25 exemption of realties taxes. The authority shall be exempt from the payment of the real property taxes imposed by the Republic of the Philippines, its agencies, instrumentalities, and political subdivisions. So in here, the investments kuno in fixed assets shall be deductible for the income of the purposes. So kung unsay purpose sa income tax purposes nimo, ang imong investment kuno kay dapat ma-fix na siya.
So next is Article 8 Port Regulations. So Section 29 Power to make port regulations. Okay. Authority may after constitution with relevant government agency make rules or regulation for planning, development, construction, maintenance, control, supervision, and management of any port or port district, and the service to provide therein for the maintenance of the good or other terrain, and generally for carrying out for the purpose of decree. So the power to make regulations kay kailangan yun siya kay para ma-facilitate og tarong sa mga port officers ang mga nahitabo. Mao nang dapat na maintenance og supervision and management support kay para makaibalo sila nga unsa ang mga nahitabo sa ilang port. So next is dangerous cargo. So the authority may make regulations to the conveyance, loading, discharging, or storage of the dangerous goods within any port or port district that appropriate to the port. So dapat po na regulation sa mga dangerous cargo para dili magpataka sila og unload or discharge sa mga dangerous cargo kay basin leg katungad kuan kay mubuto or moon sa ba. So next is section 28, power of harbor master. Further, the provisions of any regulation under section 28 or 26 and 27 of this decree. So the authority through the harbor master of a port or port district may direct where any vessel shall be betrayed, moored or anchored, and to the method of anchoring with the port and the approach to the port. So the direct of the removal of any vessel from the berth or anchorage to another berth or encourage of the time within such removal is be affected, and regulate the mooring or of vessel and determine the site of loading and unloading of cargoes within the port. So section 29, existing regulation. Anything to be contrary notwithstanding and until new rules of regulation or promulgate by authority under section 26 and 27 of this decree, the rule, regulation, or other made under the customs code or any other law of the Philippines relating the matters covered by section 26, 27, and 28 shall be continued to apply as if they were made under said section, and any reference to the customs official or any other official under law of shall be deemed in reference to an equal official authority. So section 29 daw kay di siya existing regulation kung wala to na buhat ang rule sa section 26, 27, and 28. So mga to. And next kay article 9. So article 9 is transfer of assets and liabilities. So section 30, transfer of existing and completed physical facilities. In accordance with the transitory provision of the decree, there shall be transferred to the authority all existing and complete public port facilities, wharves, docks, lands, building, and other property, movable or immovable, belonging to those ports declared as the port of the purposes of this decree. So, section 31, transfer of intangible assets. In accordance with the transitory provision of the decree, there shall be transferred to the authority all unshakable assets, power, rights, forfeiture rights, interest, and privilege belonging to the Bureau of Customs and Bureau of the Public Works, now Department of Bureau of Customs, or now kay Department of Public and Highways, and other agencies relating to the port works or port operations subject to the terms and arrangement with the such transfer shall be evaluated to the President decision. So section 32, project in progress. In accordance with the transitory provision of this decree, all ongoing projects relating to the construction of ports and ports of facilities shall be continued by the agency or agency involved until completion. After completion, such projects shall be transferred to the authority in accordance with the agreement of the agency concerned. Any disagreement relating such as transfer shall be evaluated to the President for decision. So ang ari daw kay Kani nga projects kay naghuman adto nila sa authority nga ilang kasabot or sa ilang agreement nga mao na ilang gisabutan.
So next is the transfer of liabilities and debts. Upon the transfer of acceptance of the authority of the existing of the physical facilities, intangible assets, and completed projects referred to the section is immediately preceding all debts, liabilities, and obligations of the Bureau of Customs. So, in this transfer of liabilities and debts, so they transfer the liabilities and debts in acceptance of the authority, like the physical, intangible, and completed projects referred to the section. So kato sila kay mo kuno to ang imuhang i-transfer nga liabilities and debts dito sa authority. So next is the transfer of staff. Official and employees of existing offices or agencies or their subordinate units which are abolished and reorganized under the decree may absorb the authority of the basis of merits and fitness. So here transfer of staff, very understandable naman din siya. So imo i-transfer ang imuhang staff kuno. So like for example kuno kay kanang authority and organized office agencies or units shall be option either transfer or remain to their present office. So if there is a kanang bago kuno nga office kuno kay pwede nimo siya i-transfer ang imuhang mga staff, or if gi-abolish na gito yung karaan nga office kay pwede mo ma-transfer ang imuhang staff, pero kung naapagay ko no present pa ko no nya makakuan pa nimo siya kay dili nimo transfer. So next is the section 36, gratuity and other benefits. All officials and employees whose services are determined and results of the degree shall be given gratuities equivalent to 1 month's salary and every year of the continuous satisfactory service rendered but not exceeding 12 months of the basis high salary received in addition to whatever benefits according to them by the existing law. So gratuity and other benefits, so mo ni siya ang if ma satisfy gali ang kono service nga rendered kono sa imuha kono nga na-exceed og 12 months ka kay naa kay madawat nga mga other benefits and gratuity mo man ako nasabtan. So next is the article 10, port development and maintenance. So in port development and maintenance, there is a general planning, feasibility studies, preliminary engineering, and prioritization of construction project in all ports under its port system. So panalitan, if mag-expand mo sa inyong port, so syempre mag-develop jud mana jud, so there are some nga mga makagasto ninyo, and also if na maintenance like sa inyong port na naguba, syempre inyo jud nang ayun like sa ceiling panalitan, guban yung ceiling inyo na ayun, inyo na gastuhan. Next is the final provision. Transitory provision. Until the President declares the authority to be fully operational, the Bureau of Customs and Division of Ports and Harbors, the Bureau of Public Works, now Department of Highways, may continue performing coordination with the authorities such as Port of. And so the budget for the staff operation and the expenses kuno kay relating to the port operation and port works, Bureau of Customs and the Bureau of Public Works during the transitional period shall be submitted to the authority for information and guidance before implementation. So before kuno ka mag transitory provision, so dapat kuno kay masubmit ni siya sa imong authority aron mag-guidan ka before ka mo pa-implement nga mo transfer ka sa imong provision. So next is the Section 39, Bureau of Customs. The Tariff and Customs Code is hereby modified and amended to the extent of all the powers, duties, and jurisdiction of the Bureau of Customs concerning the following matters shall be transferred with the vested of the authority. So, ang kaning Bureau of Customs, ako ang pagsabot, so they are the one who give taxes to they give rate sa imong i-import o imong i-export. So that's are the duty of the customs. So they supervise and control the regulation affairs pertain to the operation, permits, the licenses, construct port facilities, warehouse, and facilities with port district. So ang kaning customs kuno kay makatabang ni nato kuno nga issuance of permit. So if walay customs o Bureau of Customs, so dili ma-issuehan ng imong permit, so dili ka maka-import o export sa imong kuan. So next is section 40, other laws. Any and other powerful rights, duties, functions, restrictions vested in the properties of appropriation of the government agency, authorities pertaining to every matter concerning the port facilities, port operation, port work shall be transferred to vested in the authority. So kaning other laws ang ako nasabtan ani kay mao ni siya ang mga laws nga naa within sa port. So like for example, sa criminal law naman na sila yung mga law mga ingunan na, so naapod ang kaning other laws kay kani siya nagpertain siya kung unsay mga laws nga pwede nimo makuan encounter nig naa sa port. If ever galing nga imo ni break ang mga laws nga ilahang gihatag nimo, kay syempre ang imuhang gi-import or ang imong gi-export syempre dili dawaton and nay possibility nga makasuhan ka. So next is the repeal. Section 41, repeal. All laws, decrees, letters, and instruction, orders, rules, regulation, policies, programs, or parts thereof inconsistent with the modified, including but limited to the following. So repeal miss kay wala kay kwasabot nga miss, pero ang akwara na sabtan sa repeal miss kay mo ni siyang rules and regulations. So repeal kay mo ni siya programs part therefore inconsistent with the contrary. So murag-mura ni siya og contract miss nga contract nga naa siya murag patong gyapon nga law miss ba.
So next is section 42, separability clause. If for any reason the section or provision of this decree is declared to be unconstitutional or invalid, the other section provision of the decree which are not affected thereby shall continue in full force or affected. So this division course is kaning section kay is declared to be unconstitutional or invalid daw. So next is section 43, penalties. Any person who violates any of the provision of this decree or any of the rules of the regulation issued or promulgated by authority shall be punished by imprisonment or not less than 1 day but not more than 6 years. So ang kaning penalties kay kung na sila makitaan nga mga nabuhat lang ang penalties kay dili lang daw ang nga pang 1 day ang ilang penalty kay pwede daw moabot sa 6 years.
So the last one is the effectivity. So effectivity, the decree shall take immediate upon its promulgation. So kani effectivity, so kung sa to mga penalties nimo nga nabuhat, mga rules nga wa nimo na oblige, so or unsa tong mga dapat nimong buhatonon pa kay it has a immediate of promulgation nga ma-effective din siya. So maura to siya miss maitag kanang nasabtan ra miss kay amo ra jud miss niya. Ang uban mong good miss wala mi kasabot miss ba, absensya kayo miss. Ang uban miss kay among gibasa miss niya, ang uban kay among gi-discuss,
ang uban miss kay murag naglisod mi sabot miss.
O miss niya, absensya pud kay sa among surroundings nga saba kay miss. Salamat miss.